and Happy New Year to all of you. My name is Shanika Roberts. I am the founder and CEO of Next Chapter Career Services. I am an online career coaching and resume writing business that helps moms overcome the barriers between themselves and the next dream career. And I specialize in providing career coaching for stay at home moms as well as working moms. If you've been following me lately on social media, whether on Instagram or LinkedIn, you would have realized that I recently started a brand new newsletter called Work It Mama. And I am actually just going to hop on over to the chat and just leave that there for people to access. It's not even a month old, but the response has been really, really great. I've been getting good comments about it. And we are just about at 200 subscribers. You can go ahead and check out my newsletter. And I post twice a month on there some really good advice for moms who are on the job hunt. And it's no coincidence that this live stream is called Work It Mama as well. So the goal is that they would pair and help each other get my information out there to all the mamas. So just to share a little bit about me, I am a certified career coach and resume writer. But I'm also a stay-at-home mom to an adorable, feisty 2-year-old named Noelle. And so I'm in that season of parenting where, it's very physical. She is everywhere. I am just running behind her, just trying to keep up with her. So that's the season of parenting that I'm in. And in a lot of things that I teach about and write about, I do come from that perspective. And I'm sure you other moms know exactly what parenting littles is all about. So, before we get into today's topic, which is all about how to make our goals stick, whether career goals or just life goals in general, I am just going to go ahead over here and I'm going to just have a few things pop up on the screen. Right here, you can learn more about me and my services on my website, www.nextchaptercareerservicesllc.com. I have my services on there. I even have some free career downloads that you can use on your own journey for the job search. And if you go on my homepage, you will be able to connect to my newsletter there as well. Also, if you are on Instagram, head on over there. Follow me. My handle is at shani.nextchapter. I would love to connect with you on there. And I'm always putting content out there as well as on Facebook, just tips, encouragement, because as moms, we really need to encourage each other and help each other. And finally, if you haven't already, go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm just going to hop on into my very first talk of the new year, which is all about sticking to our goals. So, when I think about this topic of making goals and sticking to them, I think about when we give our kids gifts at Christmas time. There's all of this anticipation as we wrap up those boxes with gorgeous gift wrap paper and we put it under the tree. And the kids can't wait until it's Christmas Day when they can wake you up at 4 a.m. and just run down the stairs. Granted, my daughter, Noelle, she's 2. She doesn't do that as yet, but she did have so much fun this last Christmas, just opening up all the boxes and playing with all the crinkle paper that followed. Anyhow, goal setting's a lot like that, right? It's exciting, it's new. It's like our kids on Christmas Day. So I actually have a box here. It's not wrapped, but we know what our kids do. They shake the box, they rip open the gift paper, they throw out the crinkle paper, they have a brand new toy, the toy that they've always wanted, and they're just so excited. And they will play with that toy for nonstop, for days, probably even for weeks. But what happens, right? Over time, they start playing with that toy less and less and less. And then before you know it, said toy that they were so excited about ends up forgotten under the bed, under the sofa, in the backyard, in the most crazy places you could possibly think of. And I think goal setting is a lot like that for us. It's so exciting to dream, and you have the reset of the new year. But then as the year progresses, we lapse on our gym memberships and we stop doing things as often as we said that we would. So really the point of today is I just want to give you some encouragement and advice on how we can stay consistent with our goals. So the very first thing that you want to do when you are trying to stay consistent with your goals is you need to evaluate them to see if you might need to change them. And guess what? It's okay to change your goals. In fact, I encourage you to change your goals if you realize for some reason that they're not aligning with your priorities and what's really necessary or what really matters to you. What I would encourage you to do as a mother is when you look at the goals that you set for yourself, consider the season of life that you are in. Okay, we may have the best of intentions, but let's face it, things happen. Kids get sick, schools close, or we may have an emergency with an elderly parent or with an aunt. Things happen where our season changes and goals become impractical. Okay. And then the second thing you want to consider as a mom, in addition to the season of parenting or just of life that you're in, is to go ahead and think about if this goal is really yours. Is this something that you're really passionate about? Is this something that you really want to happen to you in terms of your career or whatever else thing that goal might be focused on? Or is this someone else's goal? I think as mothers, we become so susceptible to mom guilt and people pleasing. The nature of what we do, we're all about caring for others and making sure that everyone's taken care of. And sometimes we get feedback of what we are doing, or rather, what we're not doing. And we could, think to ourselves, well, gosh, maybe I should be doing XYZ. Or maybe you're at work and your boss has an idea of where your career needs to be. Maybe you need to be spending more time at work or working on a project that you're not really that passionate about. But what do? We go ahead and we do what everyone else says we should do anyway, and we think it's the right thing, but maybe we don't follow through because it's simply not you. When it comes to this tip, I think about myself and even these live streams that I'm doing right here, right now, which are personally a little terrifying for me. I do want to do them. That's a goal, to do more live streams on LinkedIn and on Instagram. They are terrifying. But when I think of the season of life that I am, which is I'm home full time with my daughter, and it's just me and her on our own during the week, it would be more realistic for me to do my streams on Fridays or on the weekends. And when I think about what's passionate to me, I love teaching, I love coaching, I love helping other women to accomplish things in their career. And so it makes sense that I would do these live streams, even though it pushes me out of my comfort zone. So the first tip is that we need to evaluate if our goals need to change. The second thing we want to do is we want to take big goals that are very ambitious, right? But very overwhelming, and turn them into little goals, micro goals. I often think about, I love hiking, right? So there's a mountain near my neighborhood. It's called Badger Mountain. It's not a super high mountain, but I'll tell you, you try going up there after you've spent all of Christmas not working out, and it is brutal, let me tell you. And let's say there was a runner whose goal was to run to the top, right? And they're running and they're looking to the top of the mountain and they're still so far, downhill, and their legs are getting tired and they're getting more fatigued and exhausted. But all they're doing is focusing at the top and that they need to be up there. Maybe they made a goal that they need to be up there in under an hour. Well, what happens? Most likely that person loses steam and gives up and doesn't make it to the top. The same can be true with goals. For example, let's say there's a mom whose goal is to return back to work and she wants to work as a software engineer for Amazon and she wants to be hired by the middle of this year. That's a great goal. That's an ambitious goal. The problem is that there are a lot of smaller steps that make up that goal. If you check out my newsletter, which I did link in the comments, I actually have an article about 4 ingredients that we need when we're writing goals. And so go ahead and check that out. Also, there is a free downloadable goal journal guide that you can download, personalize, and make your own. But just to go back to my example of the mountain, basically, you want to basically have a plan and a series of steps in order to execute whatever dream or vision it is you have for your career. Okay, so what do? Go ahead and think about all the things that need to happen in order for that goal to be achieved. So, for example, our mom who wants to become a software engineer, maybe she needs to start off with doing some research about Amazon and about what software engineers do at Amazon to determine if that's even something she really wants to do versus at another company. And she needs to network and talk to people in her network who might be connected to people in that department at Amazon. She needs to work on her resume, and then she needs to have someone review her resume to make sure that everything's proper, and she needs to prepare for her interview. And so that big goal of being hired all of a sudden is divided into tiny steps. So, whatever you are planning to do this year, I encourage you to break it down into new steps, prioritize those steps, figure out which one you're going to do first, then second, then third. And when you've reached a goal, when you've checked off a micro goal, go ahead and celebrate those small wins. I think that will go a long way in our motivation to get us to the big goal, to get us to the big step. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I will be back next weekend with 2 more tips that we can all utilize as moms in order to stay on top of our goals. Don't forget to check me out on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and if you subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get access to that freebie as well, my 2022 goal setting guide, featuring those 4 key things that we need when we are trying to figure out what our goals need to be and execute. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.